Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal, and we're here for part 7 of my journey to becoming the activist I am today. Now, last week we talked about how I finally had the last straw, the thing that convinced me that lying to women was just part and parcel of abortion. Now we're going to talk about how it is I wound up so focused on the women. Now, part of my birthright training was to read the book Aborting America by Bernard Nathanson, and this is a must read if you want to understand American abortion politics and how it works. It doesn't matter how long ago it was written. It was written from the perspective of somebody who was one of the founders of NARAL back when it was the National Association for the Repeal of Abortion Laws. And I learned a lot of things reading that. I learned that they knew that the claims of 5 to 10,000 abortion deaths a year before legalization were absolutely bogus. But they used them anyway because they were useful. And I learned that they knew that legalizing abortion wasn't going to cure all social ills like child abuse. They didn't care. They were pushing for it anyway. Then that made me get off to the library to read absolutely everything I could find about abortion, pro and con. And that is when I learned about my first 2 safe and legal abortion deaths, Gloria Aponte and Ellen Williams. Gloria had her abortion at a clinic that I later learned was run by a National Abortion Federation member. His name, I knew, was Hanan Rotem, and after Gloria's death, it was uncovered that he allowed a receptionist with no medical training to administer anesthesia. Now, the clinic where Ellen had her abortion wasn't a National Abortion Federation member, but it was even worse than the clinic where Gloria had her fatal abortion. It was Dadeland, which I've talked about before, and I'm not going to get into at length now, but I am going to cover that Ellen went in for her abortion. They perforated her uterus. They sent her home. She came back in absolute agony. They scraped her out again and sent her home with a bottle of oral antibiotics. When it turned out they perforated both her uterus and her bowel, she had raging peritonitis and she died. And that really showed to me the huge difference between this image of safe and legal abortion, and it's all sunshine and unicorns, and what happened to women like Gloria and Ellen. And I also learned that access is the sacred thing and that it is far, far more important to the abortion lobby than safety is. And I found out, remember I said day 1, I've got a 0 betrayal tolerance, absolutely 0. I found out that they would focus on poorly designed studies and would ignore solid research, that they would dismiss any unfavorable evidence, and that they would give unproven assumptions the same weight as established facts. The feeblest bit of information that might make abortion look favorable was taken as absolutely axiomatic and beyond questioning. And I also saw some serious inconsistencies. When there was a debate over Title X, where they were going to say no more Title X money for abortion counseling, the abortion lobby was all in a tizzy. How are women going to find out about the availability of safe and legal abortion? Okay, so women are too dumb to pick up the phone book and turn to the very front of the yellow pages where it says abortion. But they're opposed to informed consent because women are perfectly capable of finding out that information on their own. So the women who are too dumb to pick up the phone book and find an abortion clinic are somehow able to go to a medical library and do research about the risks of abortion given any pre-existing conditions they might have, how far advanced they are into pregnancy, and everything else. Tell me that makes sense. The women are able to find out all this medical information and they don't need any help, but they can't find an abortion clinic and don't know that abortion is legal. So the most important things I've learned are, number 1, you cannot trust the abortion lobby. They can't be trusted. Number 2, the media, by and large, acts as a mouthpiece for the abortion lobby. Every so often, they will do a story about spectacular malpractice, but they will always include caveats like, this is not at all representative of normal abortion practice. Normal abortion practice is ever so safe. Don't be deterred by what happened at this place. And even though at the time I wasn't talking in terms of the Sisyphean journal, my experience over the past 40 years and as an abortion activist is the reason why this channel is called the Sisyphean Journal. Like Sisyphus, I will push that rock up the hill and it will look like pro-choicers are starting to care about what happens to the women. Something will happen like Ron Fitzsimmons will admit that he lied through his teeth about late-term abortions being done for fetal indications. And I'll think, finally, we're reaching the tipping point. Nope, that rock will roll back down and squash me flat. Charlotte Taft starts doing real, genuine, informed consent in her abortion clinics. They pretty much run her out of town on a rail. Every time something happens, like the Chicago Sun-Times expose on seedy abortion clinics in Chicago, the expose the Miami Herald did about Dadeland, every time it looks like we're getting close to that tipping point where people are going to stop trusting the abortion lobby, that rock rolls back down and crushes me. I am not asking pro-choicers to convert and become pro-life. I'm asking them to care as much about the safe as they do about the legal. And honestly, that doesn't seem like it should be that hard. And I don't understand why safety is optional.